Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Handegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road, across from Rufino's. Welcome to the Monday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Handegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro is with us today. Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Frank Wilson press conference today, and a normal football Monday schedule to you. Glad you're with us on a cold day. Temperatures dropped as predicted, but beautiful sunshine. And Jimmy Ott back in town after his trip to Tuscaloosa. How was your vacation? How was your trip?
It was incident free, so it was good.
Okay.
So we'll start off with that. No, good to go spend some time with EJ and all of his buddies. And look, man, Alabama, LSU, no matter what the outcome and stuff, it draws a beautiful crowd, man. It was hot, a little hot. And I'm leaving the next morning, Sunday morning, and it's freezing. So it was, but just no, man, it's kind of a pregame before they started out. People are a little bummed that they're not going to play every year.
Yeah,
a little bit of that. So, and just that school is such a melting pot. Just Friday night alone, I was with people from Houston, Boston, Nebraska, Scottsdale, Orlando, Columbus, Georgia. I mean, all over the place. Like 70% of the enrollment's out of state.
What was your last trip there before this? When was the last time you went there before this?
Well, for a game.
Yeah,
or because I went to campus with Ethan to start the spring semester.
I'm thinking before Ethan started school there. But when's the last time you went?
Oh, it's been a while.
Okay.
Been like 10 years, yeah.
So how much different is it now than it was 10 years ago from an enrollment standpoint and all that stuff? I'm trying to get to what Saban did for the school.
No, we were in our conversation. These are people that are, these are pretty successful people around the country, affluent people, and we were talking, and we're like, this guy's the most underpaid coach in the history of college football.
Yeah.
And he probably made more than any coach in the history of college football. And he has made that school a lot of money. Yeah. Yes.
The impact on the non-football stuff is tangible.
Yes. I mean, the thing is, it's, just the facilities. It's just, and then the development around it.
Yeah.
Like the downtown area is basically tripled with restaurants, bars, shops, hotels.
Yeah.
I mean, Saban's got the premier hotel downtown Tuscaloosa. It has grown and grown in a real positive way. I can tell you what, the Airbnbs ain't cheap, bro.
Right.
I mean, so no, it's a good spot, man.
Something to think about, since we increasingly are talking about total cost of a football coach. It's something else to factor in.
And listen,
it's not the only thing. It's just something else to factor in.
You can get an up-and-comer. You can try and, or you could be like a Dan Mullen and recruit 2 stars at Mississippi State and out-evaluate people, okay? And you could bring in an overly accomplished coach. And there's never been more of an accomplished hire than Brian Kelly. But, damn it, that coach can make a difference. I mean, we see what bad coaches do and what good coaches can do. I mean, but as far as you can have the most accomplished, safest resume hire that doesn't work, I mean,
we just saw it.
We just saw it. And so now we will always say, well, at least Brian Kelly, LSU got the better of the two as far as him and Lincoln Riley. Well, Lincoln Riley's still coaching now. So now is he –
I thought you were going to say they got the better of the two between him and Billy Napier.
No, that's obvious. But Napier was not on these guys' level. Florida did not pay Napier what Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly made. I mean, because he was not as accomplished. It's one thing to win at Oklahoma and Notre Dame or ULL. Come on. So, but it's still not – it doesn't guarantee you anything. And when people ask me, Charlie, I say one thing about the biggest complaint transitioning to the biggest priority. I just think they're looking for a guy with some energy.
I don't think there's any
A
question.
little, energy / hunger. I mean, is that?
Yes.
I mean, they got burned. I mean, this was a good. Nobody was complaining about this hire. Who cares about LSU? Nobody.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
Let's talk about the football game here for a minute.
Yep.
Frank Wilson is the interim coach. They promised that they would make a renewed effort to run the football, and they did make the renewed effort. Unfortunately, the results were not what they were hoping for. 26 carries for 59 yards. We thought we wanted to see what Alex Atkins would look like calling the plays versus Joe Sloan early on. They did some different things. They tried the middle of the field with the screen game, which produced some early results for them. They used some half rolls, move and pocket things that helped Garrett Nussmeier out a little bit, and they were able to move the football a little bit. Unfortunately, the things that have plagued LSU all season were still there. Their red zone problems, and I'm going to get to one specific one in a minute. 4 trips into the red zone, 3 field goals. They also had problems getting the plays in. That was something that plagued them before, and the ability to potentially change plays at the offensive line of scrimmage were not there. The ability of your opponent to get pressure with 3 and drop 8, the blueprint that Ole Miss put out there for the world to see, Alabama executed it as well or better than the Rebels, probably better than the Rebels did back in Oxford. So all of those things. Nussmeier was accurate. He completed a lot of passes, but everything was underneath. Everything was dink and dunk. The reluctance to throw the football down the field remained there, and Nussmeier took some shots as well. We would see Michael Van Buren from the early part of the third quarter the rest of the way. This sequence, which we pointed out yesterday on Football Sunday and on the postgame, kind of epitomizes what LSU's offensive problems were. They got down. This is the first drive of the third quarter. First down and goal at the Alabama 9-yard line. They ran Harlem Berry for a yard. Again, indicative of their inability to run the football. The second play was an incompletion that was thrown into the short middle of the field, which they had a hard time doing after the initial success. Then they had a delay a game penalty, which backed them up 5 yards. Then they had to call timeout to avoid a second delay a game penalty. Then Nussmeier was sacked. 2 things on that play. Carius Kern, who's being asked to play out of position at left tackle, was beaten on the play. Nussmeier, as he has done on a number of occasions, rolled out backwards and gave ground, was sacked. And first and goal at the 9 ends up with 4th and goal at the 27. They did make the field goal, but Frank Wilson had seen enough. Whereas on the play, the drive before that, right before the half, when Nussmeier came to the sideline, Frank kind of patted him on the head, kind of loving him up. Even Greg McElroy on the broadcast made the observation. He said, well, Brian Kelly would have probably been a little bit more animated. When Nussmeier did that, Frank was animated plenty, and that was it for Nussmeier. It was time to see if they could get a spark with Van Buren, and we'll talk about him. But, Jimmy, whether it be the hits that he's taken, the injury that he had before, the mental aspect of this, both Richard Dixon on the post game and Rohan Davey yesterday on Football Sunday talked about both the pressure that he's feeling and the implied pressure, seeing ghosts at times with some of this pressure that sometimes it's not even there, but a lot of times it's there. And for Nussmeier, it was time for LSU to try something else.
He's punch drunk, man. I mean, he's like a fighter that's just worn down, man. He's like a vehicle that was really sharp at one time. It's got over 200,000 miles on it. I mean, he's just damaged goods right now. And it's funny because at the beginning of games, he kind of starts off like, okay. Once he starts getting hit again, it's, the same reactions that come. And I can't totally kill him for that. I mean, because I mean, he's taking a beating, man.
Yeah.
Tell me another quarterback in college football is taking as big of a beating as him. He's probably at the top of the list, okay, with the caliber of competition, the teams that they face, and then the lack of protection. I mean, let's face it, and no running game. I mean, it's just X after X after X. Sloppy, you know. I mean, how many pre-snap penalties? Now, some of that was with the backup quarterback when he came in, so you got different cadence. When that's one of the things that you will see some of that
and
from
you're on
time
the road,
to time.
yeah.
But this was like on steroids. I mean, this was not like the place was not going crazy pre-snap where it was, you know, like the 12th man at Seattle Seahawks games and stuff like that. No, it wasn't that vintage LSU Alabama type of atmosphere. It was good, but it was not deafening like some of the ones in the past. And then the sequence, and you talked about it, and it's obvious. Everybody's talking about it. How, I mean, you don't make DeBoer and Alabama pay for burning their timeouts. So
at the end of the first half,
I mean, so
that was one
you
of the
coming
biggest
out of
mistakes
this
the sideline
play,
made.
the coaches have to coach it. We don't know. I don't know if Frank was asked after the game if they said, did you say maybe a sack was okay? Did you think about running a draw? You know, with Alabama out of timeouts, what's our policy with the end of the half situations? Field position dictates aggression.
Yes.
So they were kind of in. They had a possession, but you know it was kind of. You don't kill the clock and give them a free possession on third down. So and then Nussmeier, what's he doing throwing the ball away? This is one time we'll just eat the ball.
Yeah,
and the half is over.
It was 1:07 to go. It was 3rd and 11 from the 19-yard line, and Alabama had no timeouts left, which is the most significant portion of this thing. And they tried to throw something into the short middle of Barry and Brown, and it was incomplete. If they run the football there, and look, even if they complete the pass and they make the first down. Let's say they make the first down up at the 40-yard line. Based on how the offense had gone at that point, their chances of scoring inside of a minute from more than 50 yards out are not great. They could have done it, but not great. So if you run the football there, you're going to bleed 40 seconds off the clock. You punt it. And
it's half's over.
Yeah, Alabama gets the ball probably somewhere around their 30, maybe their 35-yard line with 20 seconds to go and no timeouts. They run the football, and you go to the half 10-3. That would have been the play. The sideline made a mistake there.
Well, the sideline and the quarterback.
And the quarterback makes a mistake,
both.
too.
And
yeah.
so, and then the other biggest play is what?
The other biggest play for
Well, it could have been
Alabama.
a game-altering. It was a game-altering play. It was a drop. Trey Dez, how long is he going to go?
Yeah.
But that's a physical.
Up near midfield. Up near midfield.
Oh, he might have gone much further than that.
You probably had a better view than we did on TV.
He had a chance.
Midfield easy.
He had a chance to.
They've thrown the ball in the middle of the field so infrequently that I think they caught Alabama shocked. Like, they're not going to throw the ball in the middle of the field. We don't even have to cover it.
And one other big play when the tight end fumbles the ball early on a conversion. On a conversion play. You can't. It reminds me of old gamblers. Okay, who am I usually on? I'm usually on Dogs or Favorites more. Of course, the Dogs. Yeah. And then my buddy who will follow me, well, that's why bad teams are bad. You know, they they just do things, poor football IQ things, don't execute a simple thing like a catch. And no, it was wide open, Charlie. He was going. Yeah, he was going. You know, now I don't know the exact result of it, but he had a chance to. It was going to be the biggest play of the game.
It was.
But the mental, the IQ of the staff and the quarterback screwing that thing up before half and giving Alabama that extra possession. That's you got to control what you can control, and that's just poor football IQ. And that no matter who's the head coach, hasn't that been the case all year?
Yes, a lot of these mistakes are repeating. On a positive,
not running backwards for. Is he a scrambler now?
No,
of course not.
No. On a positive side, the defense I thought played very well. Alabama has not been able to run the football.
How about your star?
Harold Perkins finally showed up.
Impact plays all over the place.
Biggest game he's had since the Clemson game. They did not allow Alabama to run the football.
Alabama hadn't run against a whole lot of people.
They have not run the football well, but LSU kept that up, held them to 2.2 yards. They put better pressure on the quarterback, I think, than they have maybe in any game this year. They had to blitz a lot to do it. But que sera, they put pressure on Simpson. Simpson is hot right now. He's a very good quarterback. The throw where they catch the tight end in man coverage on Devon Keys. Keys wasn't in bad position, but it was a beautiful throw down the sideline, and they make a big play. He made some big plays, including the ones he made in that drive that they gave him at the end of the first half. But you tell me, when Alabama wakes up and looks at this film yesterday, they're going to say, we won. We beat a team that's a little bit out of sorts right now. But if we run this in an SEC championship game of the playoffs, we're in trouble. We got to play better than this.
Every Alabama fan or I talked to, they was like, this was not our best. This was a little sloppy. There was, but they gave LSU a little credit as well. I mean, Alabama has not run the ball effectively, and we talk about it. Running game's a quarterback's best friend. Simpson's still having this year with very limited running game, so you give him a little bit more recognition. But they made it hard on him. I mean, LSU, how many stops did they get? I mean, it just the defense turned them away. The defense it's a one possession game. How in the fourth quarter? Because the defense. Oh
gosh, how many times?
Because
did we
the defense.
Say that? Yeah.
So I mean, no, they really did, and I think that's what we expected. Frank is connected more to the players. We're going to see a little, as far as the effort is concerned, a little interim juice. And you saw that. You saw that with Auburn and LSU on Saturday. There's no doubt. But in the end, just your inability to protect the quarterback. When he does have time, he's still rattled. He's not doing it. He's doing things that are out of his skill set. And then some just poor decisions and poor execution on basic things by the team just kind of cost you a chance to really put a scare into Alabama.
3 punts. They also turned it over on downs. They recovered a fumble. And if you want to give them credit for the missed field goal, it was a short missed field goal, but they got off the field without points in that drive too. So enough.
344 yards. I'm sure Alabama was averaging way more than that.
I could take, if you'd give me on Friday, said 344 yards and 20 points, I'd say that defensively, that's on the road, that's just fine.
So early, again, you kind of like the play calling early. It's almost like, okay, their script might have been good. I mean, they did some different wrinkles. But, and even Nussmeier, I thought looked like his body had recouped a little bit early, and was coming out his hand a little bit, And, just kind of, but you gotta hang in there. And then when you just, the self-induced stuff, the gifts that you gave Alabama, and there were a few. I mean, you gotta make those plays for the underdog to have a chance.
I love what the guys here at Chris's Specialty Foods did today. The weather's cold for the first time in a while. What's for lunch, Jimmy?
Well, it's a homemade chili.
Chili. Yes.
Homemade chili with tortilla chips on top, a little cheese, and yes, I mean it's really really good stuff. Served with some asada chips and things like that. But it's a cold day today and a hot bowl of chili, homemade chili over here. That's in addition to our regular lunch menu. But also, Charlie, it's holiday season over here at Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road, right across the street from Rufino's. But come and grab one of the holiday menus. So the whole turkeys, seasoned injected turkey breasts, whole seasoned turkeys, whole fried turkeys, smoked turkeys. So seasoned turkeys, fried turkeys, smoked turkeys. How about the boneless turkeys, stuffed with rice dressing, stuffed with cornbread dressing, stuffed with boudin, or the shrimp and rice, or the stuffed with the crawfish and rice. Turkey rolls, we got all of those as well. Turduckins, we ship turduckins all over the country. So turduckins with all of your choice of the different stuffings, rice dressing, cornbread, boudin, crawfish, or shrimp. So, and create your own bundle. So you do choose one of the turkeys, the turduckins, and 2 of the medium sides, where there's some mac and cheese, rice dressing, twice baked potatoes, cabbage, yams, cornbread, or green beans. So we got turkey gravy, pecan pie, dinner rolls. For all of your holiday needs, Chris's Specialty Foods over here. And you know what? Ship it nationwide, too, for a treat to some of your friends to give them one of those turduckins around the country.
Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. It's brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Go to SupremeRice.com. Jimmy, I'm going to lay out two scenarios here and just get your opinion on it because I don't think it's an easy question. Some people might think it's an easy question, but I don't think it's an easy question. And that the question is, what do you do with Garrett Nussmeier for the last 3 games of the regular season? And here are the two things. First of all, we've talked about his play, the beating that he's taken, the whole thing, and Michael Van Buren does give you a little bit more of a running option. He is not a full running quarterback, but he's certainly more mobile than Nussmeier.
He can run away from the pressure better.
He can protect himself a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a chance to take a look at him for next year. You get Nussmeier some rest and all that stuff. On the other hand, Nussmeier has been here for 5 years. He's shown a lot of loyalty to the program. He still cares. I noticed the other night when he was benched, he was up there, he was cheering. He had tears in his eyes at the end of the game because this obviously means something to him. He didn't sulk. He didn't pout. He didn't pack up his stuff and leave at the end on Sunday and say, you know what, guys, fend for yourself. I understand they're paying him. I understand it's a different situation. But if Garrett Nussmeier says, you know what, I want to play, you got the worst defense in the SEC coming in this weekend, and the following week you got senior night, okay? And, you know, if the kid says, you know what, I'm still here. I still want to play. I still want to play for LSU. I'm willing to go out there. I'll take the hits. I'll go out there. I'm going to give you my best. What do you do?
Well, I mean, are you trying to reward the guy, or are you trying to win games, or both?
Does he still give you the best chance to win a game against an Arkansas?
I don't think so.
Against Arkansas?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's not an easy question. I'm glad it's not my decision to make.
I was stubborn on this for a long time, but he's just but there's no doubt this is the one, these 2 games. It's not just senior night, but Western Kentucky's defense and Arkansas's defense. I want to play against them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care who's playing quarterback at LSU. They're going to have more of a chance to be successful, productive, move the ball more, score more against Arkansas and Western Kentucky's defense than pretty much anybody you've played in the SEC or Clemson. Yeah. I mean, this is Arkansas throughout them with Southeastern and whoever, the Renowin, and Arkansas is the weakest defense you're going to play.
Yeah, they're significantly last. I mean, by a margin
there you
to
go.
15.
That's
okay.
So do you? But I think that Van Buren is the better option right now, and I just didn't think I would ever come to that. But he's just such damaged goods. And you can't have that. You can't throw the ball away. So he's throwing it. That's just not on. That's just no clue of the situation. Just no clue. And you just can't have that. And that's where he is right now. So he's gotten hit so much, it's affecting the plays where it's not where he's just under instant pressure. You know, I mean, and that's why I was so upset about the Ole Miss game. I said, man, Ole Miss is not good on defense, and they're getting pressure with 3. The blueprint's out. Well, you saw Alabama do it a lot, huh?
Yes.
I mean, but part of it is, I mean, this guy, man, is committed, and that's why it's really in an advantageous role, and that's why I thought this thing was going to be so good this year, because of the continuity of him being around and working in the off seasons and knowing his surroundings and things like that, and being with the staff, being with Kelly the whole time. But I thought that Van Buren on Saturday gave them a better chance to move the ball, and just because it's not so much him being productive in the running game, but pressure is going to be an issue even against Western Kentucky and Arkansas, and because of that, Van Buren is a better option. So I could see Nussmeier coming out there against Arkansas and throwing for 250 and throwing for like 9 yards an attempt. You know, I mean, they're bad.
And what if
everybody has?
And what if he says, you know what? I played through the injury. I gave it my best shot. Again, I took a beating. My draft stock has taken a big hit, and I understand people say, well, this is about LSU. But you got to go recruit the next quarterback, okay? And I'm not talking about his brother. I'm talking about any quarterback. You say, well, man, look, we put the last guy on the bench. When he had a chance to go out and let me go put some good tape out there. Let me recoup a little bit of this against the soft part of the schedule. I understand the argument. Like I said, this is not I don't think this is a very easy call for Frank. It's a hell of a position to be put in. Now, maybe Nussmeier's in agreement with him. Maybe he says, you know what, I am hurt. I'm gonna shut it down, and I'll be on the sideline in street clothes. I'll root my ass off for you guys. Best of luck, but I'm done playing.
Charlie, never should you do things outside of putting your team in the best position to win. Ever. Okay? And that's recruiting. And if you're trying to just a guy's committed, you give it a charity case. If you're compromising, just putting the best guys on the field to give you the best chance of winning, you get what you get.
I think that's true. I think your statement in a vacuum.
And I understand the main goals are out the way and things like that. I get it, but I'm sorry, but Chris Sims shouldn't have been playing ahead of Major Applewhite.
Yeah,
and I was with a recruiting conscience.
Now I know
you understand.
Yes.
So,
now I know what you think,
but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. That Nussmeier gives him a better chance. That's just my opinion.
My question.
Okay.
Do you think the coach? I know what you think. Do you think the coaching staff thinks that Nussmeier gives him a better chance?
Man,
tougher question.
You saw in just a couple of series. Man, I'm going to pat you on the back. It's all right, okay. Yeah. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
He's damaged goods right now, man. He's just in. And listen, I don't know another quarterback can beat up like him. None. Max had a very good stat he was sharing with me about the lowest rated offensive lines. I'm like, no, Aiden Childs hadn't been hit like that. I mean, South Carolina's got a bad. Yeah. When he got benched. And then the other guy came in through for 300 yards, Millie Vahevich, in his only start against Minnesota. Okay, so my point. Okay, we've seen Childs together. Okay, he'll give you.
I like the other guy better.
Okay, yes. South Carolina. Well, who's quarterbacking at South Carolina? He's one of the best athletes in the country. So he's not taking as many hits because he's
a big guy.
He's run. Yes, and he is. So he hadn't been beat up. This guy's been beat up more than anybody in the country. And so there's some sympathy there, but also if you're trying to win, can you rotate them? I could do that. Now you're trying.
That's what Rohan said yesterday.
The staff has been around for 2 weeks. The new staff. You can't have an offensive metamorphosis in 2 weeks, but there got to be some sort of moving or rolling or dual threat packages that you can run with Van Buren that you can't with Nussmeier. And then Arkansas, if Nussmeier came out, I thought Nussmeier was going to have a big night. I said, man, he got a rest. He recharged his batteries. He didn't get hit one Saturday. BK, that's the most pitiful move ever. And we called it that week right here. What the hell are you doing playing him against Southeastern?
Should have sat him against Southeastern.
And he re-aggravated his injury. He got hurt in the Southeastern game.
Not only, I would have understood if they said, we're sitting in for Southeastern and Ole Miss. So, if we lose, we lose. We're going to give him a month, and we're going to go into the October part of the schedule with him healthy.
Well, that's the question for Frank today. Is it because he's been so committed, is this factoring into the quarterback rotation on Saturday?
I mean, that's I'm glad it's not my decision to make, to be honest with you, because you got to look that kid in the eye. That's been there for 5 years.
No, but Charlie, you cannot let politics or eye on recruiting. You have to try and make the decisions, in your opinion, to put your team in the best position to win and play the best position, the players that give you the best position. I thought you saw both of them. Who was more sound in their decisions on Saturday?
Van Buren gave them a better chance in the second half than Nussmeier.
This is Saturday. This is Alabama. That doesn't mean it's going to translate against Arkansas. But still, I saw a guy that's just got it.
And they scored 3 points.
He's got lower mileage on his car. Okay.
But Van Buren, it's not like they came out there and they scored 3 touchdowns. Okay.
No,
they scored 3 points.
They scored 3. If Trey holds onto the ball, we don't know.
They might have scored again.
Now Can he make all the throws that Nussmeier will? Over a sample size, will they cheat on? Well, they hadn't seen enough of him at this point. And think when you're talking strategy, okay, this applies to everything. What does my opponent want? So what is the opponent? What do they think? I'm Arkansas's defense coordinator. Who would I rather face? You tell me.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I say I'd rather go against Nussmeier because I know what he can do, he can't do in the decisions he makes. I don't know about this wild card, Van Buren. Yeah. There's a little uncertainty there on how to attack them. Because you know what I'm doing against them? What are you going to do? I'm rushing 3.
Sure.
I'm rushing 3.
Maybe Frank doesn't need to say anything today. Make him prepare for both. Now, that's what he says today. Now, what he actually does, I don't know.
That's one of the things that tipped me off, that BK was checked out. Why are you telling us all the injury information? This is to a fault. You're not supposed to. He was, oh, no, he's out. I mean, wait, we didn't even ask you. Why are you so damn nice to the media? When you, I thought you were a prickly pear up there. I'm getting paid.
Won't happen again.
I know it's a different coach. Van Buren threw for 309 yards against Arkansas last season, for what it's worth.
I mean,
totally
how
different
many did Nussmeier throw against him?
Last season.
I don't remember last season's Arkansas.
Probably 300.
Probably.
Two Fridays ago feels like 8 years ago. I don't remember what happened last year.
What's the governor think?
I don't think I want to know.
Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get when you dial 296-0060. Our great team at Legacy Title: Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Collada, Michael Platt, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title. 296-0060.
Nussmeier threw for 233.
233. Okay. Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
We're also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff have helped us out, man. Weather's getting a little colder. You got something acting up. Get them to help you out there. They'll get you into a program that'll pinpoint your problem areas and get you to feeling better, whether it's just the regular exercise and stretching routines or dry needling, electric nerve stimulation, cryo, or ultrasound therapy. They'll get you to feeling a little bit better, moving around good as the weather gets a little bit cooler. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury
Charlie,
Centers.
don't put me on the record without you two going. What would you do, and what do you think Frank's going to do? I see how this goes. I mean, he's grilling me left and right.
Yeah.
You haven't even thought about yourself?
I like to ask. No, I've thought about it plenty.
Well, I mean, look, it just – you're still trying to win games. I'll tell you this. Weren't you impressed with Auburn? Wouldn't you rather see that? This is not the NFL. Yeah. We're not going for draft picks, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Right, yeah. You're not,
they played hard, man. It took another Diego miracle to bail them out.
500 yards of offense.
Amazing what happens when you don't have 3 different play callers for 3 different downs.
That was, yes, Max. That's an easy target. Max, who would you play?
To me, once you made the move, it's done. It's Van Buren.
You got to see enough improvement for it to be done, huh? You can't go out there and throw 3 interceptions.
Sure.
And that's your guy, huh?
But
it's not the NFL like they made a move to Tyler Shuck, who they got money invested in.
Correct. This is different than that. But I think it's Van Buren. Van Buren did just enough in terms of throwing it 10 yards down the field. There were still mistakes there. I saw receivers coming back to the ball, so it's like they were open. I'll have to go back and watch it today. But I think it's Van Buren for the reasons you mentioned about.
So you would do Van Buren, and you think it's going to be Van Buren?
Yes.
Okay. Charlie?
This is going to be unpopular, but if he's healthy enough to go and he's in the right frame of mind and says, I'm ready to go, I would start Nussmeier. I would play Van Buren. And I think if Nussmeier is healthy enough to go, Frank will start him. But I do think Van Buren's going to play. It's a week-to-week thing now. I'm not going to say, okay, you're going to start all the rest of the games no matter what. Like I said, I know that's unpopular. I know people are frustrated with Nussmeier. I'm very good friends with a lot of them that would probably, throw tomatoes at me right now if they heard me say that. But his attitude still means something to me. What he's gone through, and I'm not positive. If I was positive that Van Buren gave him a better chance to win on Saturday, I would say make the move. I'm not. I could be dead wrong. He may go out there and throw 2 picks in the first quarter, and he'll sit, and that'll be it. But I would go one more time and see what he does. Just because they're playing Arkansas. If they were playing Oklahoma this week, I don't know. That might be a different answer.
I'd rather play against Arkansas than Oklahoma's defense. Yes, indeed.
And I understand that that's not a popular opinion at all right now.
Well, but who do you think Nussmeier gives him a better chance at winning?
Slightly, yeah.
Okay.
Against this defense, yes, slightly right now. And like I said, I run the risk of looking like a complete fool if he goes out there and turns the ball over 3 times in the
You have
first
to
half.
admit that Van Buren played better against Alabama than Nussmeier did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
And again, neither, in the red zone, why is Trey Green not in the game in the red zone? I would ask that question
again. Does your opponent want him in the game?
Yeah,
when they're in the red zone?
don't. Not.
Of course not.
They're happy to see him on the sideline.
Yes.
Auburn, I said 450. It was 550. A little 500.
Where did that come from?
563 to be.
Because it's the same guy that couldn't get a yard against Kentucky.
Ashton Daniels accounted for.
He played well.
He accounted for 440 yards by himself. Now, if you're thinking, oh, this is the young quarterback, they didn't know what this kid's a senior.
Now, this was a tough 22-day stretch for Vandy. LSU, Missouri, Texas, and here. That's a grind. That's a grind because all
4 full games.
Well, all of them came down to the very end. Yes. 3 60-minute games coming into this one, and this one goes overtime. Yeah.
60 plus. But what did you think? Vandy, the one place where they had a chance to kick I think it was a 44-yard field goal, 45-yard field goal, 4th down. They help me out, Max. We watch again. Minute 30 to go, about minute 20 to go.
I want to say minute 10. I'll go back and look, and there were no timeouts. Importantly, that was the very important part for Auburn.
So they make the first down. They can run it down, kick the field goal. And Auburn
if they make the first down, then they eliminate any possession. This was an offensive game.
Yeah, Auburn gets penetration. Okay. They get the stop.
So if he kicks a field goal, and they go down and score on you, where he had 500 yards of offense at that point. What do you do? So. But they got stopped, and they still stopped him.
Yeah. What bigger surprise that Daniels engineered 560 yards worth of offense, or that Auburn's defense gave up 550 yards? Because they, even with the lack of offense that they've had, that defense has been
getting a little worn down.
That's a good explanation.
Getting a little. They've been on the field a lot.
That's a really good explanation.
Field a lot.
We've also seen moves with DC's becoming a head coach. And, they lose some of that focus on their side of the ball.
Durkin is distracted. He's got other things he's got to do.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
That could be part of it.
And look, Pavi was really good. He was really good Saturday. Yeah. He took that team on his back, man, when they fell behind. Because, Auburn came to play. What was their biggest lead? Like 14 or 17? It was a lot.
Yeah, they were up 17-3 at one point, and I think that was the biggest. Yeah, that was the biggest. That was the biggest part of that. A&M on Saturday against Missouri. We thought this might be a little bit of a trouble spot. They've got another game on the road. They haven't been home in a month. They didn't absolutely have to have this game. They're in the playoffs right now with a little bit of room to spare, and they throttled Missouri on. That's a team that others have struggled with. And A&M, Mike Elko, pretty animated in the postgame when he says, I don't
miss that. What happened?
Well, I'm going to paraphrase here. It was basically the team coming from previous years. In other words, A&M always chokes, always, comes up short in a big game. And that has nothing to do with this team.
I heard that.
I thought it was a pretty strong
message.
This is my culture. This is my team. I don't want to hear about what other teams came short of. This is my team.
Kind of like, I don't know what all this catastrophe syndrome is around here.
It had a lot of themes like that to it.
What we talked about,
new sheriff in town.
When you go to A&M and you're like, aren't we proud of our football ops center here? Isn't it a nice one?
Yeah.
They got 2 of them, okay?
It was so nice, Dick Vitale couldn't stand it.
You're going like, how do y'all not win?
Yeah.
Wait, what's my budget? What's my player budget? Now Texas actually passed up Florida. They have the most players in the NFL now. What is going on here? You want to talk about when Miss Terry came here and said it was a sleeping giant. He's conscious of their underperforming, underutilizing their resources. And he ain't hearing it. No excuse. Don't let that look behind look behind my back and now this is a time where something bad happens type of deal. So, I mean, you think if they got to bust a long play, Arkansas does Saturday, that they'll start chanting LSU in the student section right now? No,
Probably not.
So, but he's looking to try and change the culture. That's kind of overblown a lot, but no, man, and it ain't done with gimmicks. They went up there, and the line of scrimmage teams usually travel, and they shook up Zollers, who I thought was going to be pretty good. He wasn't, but then they got back in it. What's he do? His timing's a little bit better than Lincoln Riley's timing and his kind of gadget move on Friday night. Fake punt. This thing is wide open. The guy goes for 45 yards. And look, rally, done. It was ball game. They put him away, and it was because Missouri had a little momentum coming back at that point.
3-game road trips are rare in the SEC. A&M, 3-game road trip, won them all.
Now, do we have an asterisk because they played 5 teams that have fired their coach?
Really? I didn't.
4 conference games. Hugh Freeze. Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
2
Billy Napier. And Sam Pittman.
And as a non-conference.
Utah State fired their coach?
No, there was another one in there.
UTSA didn't fire their coach.
No.
He was up for the Auburn.
Trailer.
Their strength of schedule is still 15th in the country. It's not a cupcake walk.
That win at Notre Dame looks really good right now. That's a really good-looking win for them.
It is a good win. It is a good win. It was you got a 4th and 10 and got didn't make a call on a little bit of an offensive lineman tackle on that play.
Oh, God, did he tackle him? Yeah, I remember that.
I'm just saying. I mean, things fall the Aggies'
Gotta
way.
Catch a break here.
Things fall in the Aggies' way a little bit.
Break,
Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. You have to get those heating safety checks. Call my buddy Lucas Ragus at 480-1000, 480-1000. We're going to be using those heaters. Please get them done, the heating safety check. Call now. Get it done before we crank these heaters up tonight. 480-1000 Total Maintenance.
Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
We're going to touch on this just here for a second before the top of the hour. Reports that Brian Kelly meeting with, or his representatives meeting with LSU officials today to talk about the buyout. Not surprisingly, Kelly wants the whole thing. LSU had
what coach doesn't?
None. The only time they're accepting less than what the total amount is if you give them a lump sum to waive future considerations, unless Miles did this, okay, so that he could negotiate freely with Kansas. And there's a scenario where that works if the coach wants to work again.
And there were some reports, which I do believe, that there was some willingness in Brian Kelly's behalf to throw out that offset because he was eager to get back into coaching and thought. Now, maybe there's a couple of weeks that have passed by. Maybe he's had second thoughts. Maybe his attorney said this is not the best approach. And maybe he says, I like it on the golf course. I don't want to get back into golfing just yet.
I don't think he ever wanted to coach. I think they threw that out there so that they could say, well, there is a clause in there that says you have to at least try.
He expressed some interest on his behalf, Charlie.
You think he was genuine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I do.
I'm skeptical.
Listen, there's a lot of reports out there.
Sure,
okay, it's my information that because I said y'all are crazy. Oh no, and they explained it to me because I'm like, my money's on you paying 100% of that buyout.
Yeah.
But no.
I think it's still unlikely he coaches again, but we'll see. That's going on today. Hour number 2 straight ahead.
Cold to play
Chris
golf
is
today.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, not where he is.
Live at lunch.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
Here at Chris's live at lunch, Frank Wilson press conference about 40 minutes from now, part of today's show. Glad that you're with us. Jimmy, chili about ready?
Homemade chili on a cold day. Chef Good job by Chef today doing it. So there's a chef-inspired lunch special every day over here at Chris's Specialty Foods, in addition to sandwiches and po' boys and salads that we have for lunch each and every day. But, always in the warmer, Charlie, the cracklings. So when Chris's Specialty Foods does their what is it, the Jazz Fest tent, they basically go through an 18-wheeler of cracklings. And I tasted some.
That's a lot of cracklings.
Really good. They got the meat pies, they got the crawfish pies, they got cracklings, got the boudin. So those are kind of like grab and go over here at Chris's Specialty Foods, and where everything. But the holidays, Charlie, create your own bundle with the turkeys or turduckens stuffed, whether you want rice dressing, cornbread, boudin, crawfish, or shrimp. Like I said, you can create your own bundle with any of the turkeys or turduckens and any of the two of the sides, mac and cheese, rice dressing, twice baked potato, cabbage, yams, cornbread, or green beans. So at any of our 4 locations here on Highland Road across from Rufino's, Wax Road in Central, Millerville Road just off of I-12, and West End in the Lakeview area down in New Orleans. And we ship them nationwide also. Whole turkeys, boneless turkeys, turkey rolls, turduckens. So sharing some of that South Louisiana flavor with our friends all over the country if you want to send somebody some holiday fare here from Chris's Specialty Foods.
Scott Van Pelt still do that thing where the best thing I saw today. He still does that.
Yeah,
That's a pretty cool segment. Saturday, I think the best thing I saw all day.
Texas Tech. No?
Best team I saw was Texas Tech. The best thing I saw was Indiana's game-winning drive and Fernando Mendoza going the length of the field with no timeouts and less than 2 minutes to go. And after a sack on the first play of that drive, looking at 2nd and 17 back at his own 13-yard line. Now, I get it. Indiana could have lost this game, still made the playoffs. It doesn't have the ramifications that it would have had with the 14 playoffs. And I know that Penn State has been a woeful disappointment this season, but it's still State, and they had played with a lot of enthusiasm. And on that 2nd and 17, Mendoza rips one across the middle for 22. And about 3 plays later, he rips one across the middle for 29. Actually close to the sideline with the second one. And then the touchdown pass, Cooper bailed him out a little bit. Pass was hot. It was high.
Oh, he was pressured.
But he gets it in there, and Cooper gets the toe down on what was, one of the best catches of the weekend, and Indiana wins. Jimmy, they trailed twice in the fourth quarter this year, once against Penn State, once against Iowa, and they came back to win both times. That was not just out of Mendoza, but Indiana in general, but especially Mendoza.
They have destroyed the teams that they're better than, and then the teams where they've tested, they've pulled them out. The Oregon win was by double digits, keep in mind, at Autzen Stadium. And they had to overcome some adversity in that one because Mendoza threw a pick 6 to tie that one. In the very next drive, they go the length of the field and get it done. I think it was 3rd and 10, but it was about midfield in Iowa City, tie game with maybe a minute to go. He throws the 50-yard touchdown pass to win it there. And then after getting sacked on first down, 7-yard loss, it really adds to the layer. No, not you're just down, but now you're down, and now you're behind the 6, and the clock is running, and you're on the road, and they're getting excited. And he, like you said, that was his best throw maybe of the day. Yep. And they had to have it, they had to get out of there. And this is a really, really good Indiana team, and they're much better than what they were last year. And a lot of people just point at the quarterback. And I was a little lukewarm because I thought Rourke was better than people gave him credit for last year, the Ohio U transfer. But Mendoza is a completely different level. Now we've seen him perform on the big stage with a lot of pressure on him. And it seems like he's been at his best, at those spots in the toughest times. Down 4 against Penn State. And did you hear? I don't know if you could decipher through Gus Johnson's call.
We were on the air, so I didn't hear it. I wasn't subjected to that. I heard about it.
It's sad because he was such a fun announcer at the buzzer beaters in March Madness for a while. It kind of got him. It's just too much, man. And so, but did you hear the crowd noise on the completion?
Again, we were on the air doing pregame, so I didn't hear it.
Indiana presence in that
Yeah,
stadium.
oh, really?
Oh, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
12-0 against 12-0 in the Big Ten championship game is looking
yeah,
more and more
Indiana,
likely.
yeah, these I say that. We said that for 3 straight years now. They're not going to lose to Michigan, talking about Ohio State. But, yeah, line opened up at 3.5. It's already moved to 5.5 as we
The potential Big Ten championship game?
Yes,
5.5?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
Ohio State, I'm assuming.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes,
All right.
yes,
Good.
yes.
I had to ask.
Yes. No, but isn't it fun to see? So Penn State with the effort, I mean, they had gaps of empty seats in that stadium, but it was, man, they brought it, and they fell behind 2 touchdowns. They were down in the game and fought their way back. So, and the quarterback was in the second start was way better than this start than previously. He was way more productive. So, some people still not a believer of Indiana. I am. I think. Well, just up front, man, they're tough. They are tough. They're better than what they were last year.
It's easy to dismiss them if you're not watching close, and I understand if you're not watching close on Indiana football because for every year prior to last year, why would you? But they're legit.
And their roster is coachable. And some aren't. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you watch the pad level when they're blocking, you watch them wrapping up when they're tackling, Texas Tech and Indiana are doing it better than anybody.
Well, let's segue to Texas Tech because that was an undefeated BYU team. Maybe a fortunate
they were
undefeated,
they were.
but undefeated nonetheless in November. Mm-hmm. And Texas Tech shook them like a dust mop, I thought, most of the day. Dominated the game on both sides of the line.
Give BYU a little credit because Texas Tech, they forced Texas Tech to attempt a lot of field goals and kind of keep them hanging around, kind of like what LSU did to Alabama on Saturday night. So that kind of kept it in check, but it was a dominating performance. There's no doubt. But, BYU, I thought it was kind of living on borrowed time. Trip to Boulder. Colorado's not good. That was fortunate to get out of there with a 1-score win. Arizona's very average. They should have lost, but they got a bunch of calls to keep drives going and ultimately win in overtime. Bear Bachmeier's great, but he's a limited passer still at this point. He wants to run first, and it's just this is not the team and the place to try and do that. I think Texas Tech and Indiana are not just Cinderella stories. I think they're really got a shot to advance and make a run in the playoffs.
Worth repeating that Texas Tech's only loss of the season came with their backup quarterback and against Arizona State.
But that kid also played in their biggest win prior to Saturday. He outplayed the starter in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
There were discussions on if Hammond would replace Baron Morton. So, I mean, they're pretty close.
But in the end, Max, the senior is more reliable, than the freshman. And that's
whether he can stay available. He's had injury problems his whole career.
Well,
it concerns me because now your backup's out for the year. Well,
you still had 2. So when he did go down with an injury in Salt Lake City, you had a quality backup. Most people don't have that. Yeah. So, and don't put him at risk as much since the other kid, because the backup's out for the year now.
Right.
That's for sure. But Morton he's still your senior. He was a starter for a reason, and he's fine. It was just a one game at Salt Lake City where they got outplayed. The freshman outplayed him, but that's gone now.
Okay, so if the best drive of the day belonged to Indiana at Penn State and the best throw of the day belonged to Fernando Mendoza, then 1A, or maybe even ahead of what happened at Indiana, take your pick, goes to Dante Moore in Oregon.
What a
in
strike.
The rain and the cold and the wind at Iowa City. All right, so we set up the Indiana thing for you. Let's set up where they were. 1:51. How about that? Same exact amount of time. They were deep
25.
Yeah, they were at the 25-yard line instead of the 20s, but the same exact amount of time on the clock. And they only needed
need a field goal.
They needed a field goal. But the throw, Jimmy, that I'm referencing was the 24-yarder down the deep right sideline that was not only in about the only 3x3 window that you could put it in, and the kid made a great catch. It was great coverage. I mean, if I'm the Iowa DB coach, I'm like, son, you played technique. You did what you could. The kid had to make a perfect play to beat you, and he did. I can't get on you. That throw was unbelievable by Dante Moore.
Because keep it in mind the other plays preceding that to start off with. In typical Iowa, when you play them, yards are hard, and that's what they tackle well. They're not going to just collide and bounce off of ball carries and things like that. The first play they gained 4 yards. Mm-hmm. The second play they gained 4 yards. The third play they got 3 yards. I mean, these yards were hard. 5 yards, 8 yards, and then a 24-yarder. I mean, that's it was. These yards are hard, and then he comes with. He said, "Man, I got to push this thing vertically at some point." And the place kicker had to make it in some wet conditions, which obviously are tougher. We know about college kicking; it's not close to the pros. So off the real grass, it's wet, pressure, the whole thing on the road, and he drills it.
And they tried to TCU us. Did you see that on third down where they could have just put the ball in wherever the kicker wanted it, run it down and call timeout and kick the field goal? They took another shot at the end zone, like TCU did against Colorado that time, and he had him. He missed him.
Yes.
How good is Oregon? I mean, look, Dante Moore had a great game. He had 112 passing yards. He got outplayed by Mark Gronowski, but they did run on Iowa. And Iowa defense if you look at the box score, they significantly outgained Iowa. I think
it's a typical Iowa
yards.
game, Max. They had 57 offensive snaps, so they shortened the game.
But they ran for 7.3 yards per
carry,
Oregon, which is impressive against Iowa. I'll give them that. And I didn't know if their O-line had that in them, but they
the conditions for the passers that day.
See, I didn't realize. 261 yards rushing.
Yeah, no, they ran the ball effectively. It was a misleading box
So
score.
Did they have turnovers or something?
No, it wasn't significant.
They didn't cash in the drives.
They won the turnover margin.
Yeah, they didn't cash in the drives.
Iowa had 2, Oregon had 1.
So when you rush for 261 on a short game and win the turnover battle, yes, it shouldn't come down to the last play.
I want to say they turned it over on downs more than once. I could be missing.
No, they never attempted a fourth down.
Okay, well then
Iowa was 3 of 4 on fourth down.
Okay.
Iowa was 3 of 4 on fourth down.
Max, I'm going to give Moore and Iowa's quarterback too a pass on any of the numbers. Those conditions were as tough as it rained hard the whole game. The wind was blowing. It wasn't freezing temperatures, but it was 40 degrees. It was cold. That's a tough ask.
But if and I was not parked in front of the TVs like I usually am.
Right.
So that definitely shocks me that when they had to make this drive, kick the field goal at the end, that they had 261 rushing.
Yeah.
And won a turnover battle. Yeah, that's that's a surprise. You're not talking Diego? What about Auburn? Are they snake bit? Huh?
This year, yes.
Golly.
They are.
The hideout play? The hideout play, the calls in the Georgia game? Mm-hmm. Missouri, they had them beat. Lost in overtime.
Yeah.
They scored 3 against Kentucky, and then they're 500 yards against
snake bit is appropriate. An appropriate term.
Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, Prentice Wilkes. Stop on by and see how we can help, discussing how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Chris Specialty Foods, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And we're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, because when it comes to retirement, no two situations are the same. Let Coastal Capital Advisors pinpoint a plan that makes sense for you and your family the way they have done for our family. Phil Fontenot and his staff do a great job of spelling everything out for you. No matter where you are in life, no matter what your age or what your income level, they can make a plan that makes sense for you. Build that lifetime relationship. They've done a great job for us, so do it for you as well. CoastalCapitalADV.com to set up an appointment. CoastalCapitalADV.com, member FINRA, SIPC. Jimmy, I'm gonna cut a little slack to our friends down in the New Orleans media. If maybe they're a little bit giddy this morning, maybe even a little bit, hold on just a second. Let's not send Tyler Shook to Canton and Derek Queen to Springfield just yet. But I'm going to cut them some slack because
they have been man.
They have been beaten down so bad.
Yeah, they're just taking a little scrap.
My goodness, they have been beaten down over the last 5 years.
That little scrap with a couple of pieces of rib still left on it's like filet mignon, you know what I mean?
So we'll get to Queen and the Pelicans another day. But did see some signs yesterday that Tyler Shook has got a little something. There were plays yesterday that he made that he looked like a real NFL quarterback, a real NFL starting quarterback, times where he bought himself some time, times where he put air under the ball on deep throws, times where he went to his second or even his third option, time where he avoided a safety, which the Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers was not able to do in the night game last night, pushed the ball a little bit down the field, coupled with the 2-minute drive against the Rams in a lost cause the week before. And I've seen enough of Tyler Shook that I want to see a lot more. And we're going to see in the rest of the season. No, I'm not ready, again, like our downtrodden friends in the New Orleans media, to say, that's it. The Saints have got their quarterback of the future. But I am encouraged by what I saw yesterday.
You just saw a lot more than what you saw against the Rams. Now, as far as that goes,
we hit the ball.
We were warned.
Yeah.
We warned how tough of a spot
Sure.
that was, with the Rams coming off of a bye, that whole thing. But only cause for reservation is, well, there's plenty, but one of them is Carolina scored in the first drive and did nothing the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really a whole lot of pressure on Shook to score a ton of points. I mean, because you win. So if Carolina scores 27, you lose 27-17. I mean, are we looking at this a little bit differently? Sure, quarterback always gets too much credit for the for the win, and gets too much criticism for losses.
It would feel differently.
But he showed me more than the Rams game as far as arm strength, a little elusiveness. Just the throw to Olave is great. How about Olave? He caught it. And
even with a little physical, little bumping in, little hand fighting.
I couldn't believe it was him.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the play and I'm like, who is that? Oh, it's Olave. Oh, okay. It's just, I want to see more too. His size, look, he's certainly got, he's better size for the position than Rattler, and so far protecting the ball more than Rattler, which was a big issue with me. But he looks like he has a chance after yesterday. Is that okay?
No, that's actually the perfect way to say it. He's got a chance.
Yeah.
I love the fact, and maybe it's just that I'm beaten down a little bit myself with how the LSU quarterbacks have done this, or the one LSU quarterback. He stepped up in the pocket, okay? He climbed the pocket. He hung in there. He made some throws, and he put some throws into some tight windows. The arm strength and the size, they were there. You draft on that stuff. The other things, the feel for the position, you don't know. And I think he has come a long way. He wasn't ready in training camp. He wasn't ready to start the opener, but he's had a half a season to practice his stuff, and there are some things I saw there yesterday that look like a very instinctive quarterback. It's one game. I want to see more, but I liked what I saw yesterday out of him.
The first game, I thought that Rattler gives you more of a chance against the Rams. Yesterday, no, Shook is more of a chance.
Yeah.
And I hate to be, swing back and forth on it, but he just looked more settled and more. Was that because they were playing a weaker team, a weaker defense?
And it's his.
Is that because
last week was his first start? I mean, is that
nerve-wracking? Yeah. So I mean, and he's he's going to have some. He's going to have some bad days. He's going to have some good days. But at least it looks like he has a chance to be good.
And the other thing I like about this is we're going to have a chance to see if he can progress against his schedule. This is probably not fair to Rattler, but he had to go on the road and play the Seahawks and the Bills the first 2 weeks, two road games of the season. Coming down the stretch, the Saints play the Jets. They play the Titans. They play the Dolphins, who are showing some signs of life, but they're still not a very good team. They play the Panthers again. They play the Falcons twice. If you got a little something, this is a schedule that will allow you to breathe a little bit, okay? Still an NFL schedule, but it's not, they're not going to play the Lions, the Patriots, and the Chiefs.
No, 9-10 games in, we should have a better idea of what the teams are, who's the stronger teams and who's not in the NFL. It's a year-to-year league. We don't know. Who knew that the Patriots were going to be this good this year?
Oh gosh! I mean, look at the NFL standings. The Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bills are looking up at the Patriots, the Colts, and the Broncos. We didn't have that in August. we didn't think that was going to be the case.
So, I mean, they could win some games. So, how do you feel about them not being in the top draft position?
Okay, I would have rather – you said what happens – does it feel different if they lose 27-17? If he plays like that, I'd like to be able to think that I'm
just saying,
astute enough to say, look, the guy looked good even in a loss.
When your defense holds their opponent to 7 points, there's not a whole lot of pressure on you to score a lot more.
Right.
And so that's – I mean, he did some nice things. He looked like a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL. We still don't know, and probably, after we've seen Rattler, and we got to give him a few more starts, but probably a backup.
Yeah,
I think what you're saying is,
and I didn't even know if he was a backup when he first
drafted him. No,
yeah.
I think what you're saying is fair, Jimmy, in that the Saints outgained them by over double the yards. They had more than double the yards, and one of the things that Rattler fell short on is that big play that could have won him the game, right? That was where he kept falling short. That one touchdown that they needed that was a little off target that maybe would have won him some
He
games
had played
early
too
on.
careful. It was like, okay, he's eliminated up until the last 2 games that he played. He's eliminated the mistakes. He's not making the dumb plays, but he has become too cautious. He wasn't going to make the big plays.
I thought Rattler, a lot of his yardage, though, was in insignificant time, too, because the Saints
trail the whole year.
What percentage of snaps when Rattler's under center were they trailing the game?
Outside of
probably like 90, 95.
I'm going to give you the stat. I don't have the exact time, but I'll give it to you this way. Outside of the Giants game, which they won, they led for 2 drives.
There you go.
2 drives.
Yes.
And the opponents immediately matched it. Now, that was before yesterday. That's in Rattler.
Well, Rattler might be a guy if you get 5 turnovers, So maybe you can rotate a 2-quarterback system. But
I think you have to be fair to Rattler, though. I mean, Shuck was winning most of the game yesterday, which is probably more than Rattler has all year.
And so he could – no, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get a better gauge on how he can do because they took the lead relatively early, and the only thing is Carolina scored first with 7-0, but still, I mean, he has a chance, but I mean. Let's not be. We got a long way to go with him, but I don't know how I'm kind of aggravated that they lose some of their draft position. Can we let him score 31 and lose 34-31? Can we let him double the yardage? Can we do that? Is that a better scenario?
They're still number 2. The Jets won yesterday, so that helped. And the Saints defense yesterday, Carolina had won 4 out of 5, and they run it largely on the strength of Rico Dowdle had really carried the run game for him.
Right.
They shut
that down.
Yeah, they kept him in check yesterday.
And the other thing is, boy, this week to week you get humiliated. It puts your pride up against the line, and the Saints were humiliated in Los Angeles. And, I mean, Carolina's their biggest win of the year. You beat Green Bay in Lambeau. So, and you flipped it back over. And that line was a little suspiciously low at some point. So, yeah.
Saints get their second win of the season, 17-7 against Carolina Panthers.
Yes, indeed. So, Tyler Shuck. Let's go. Tyler Shuck. Don't forget our friends Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown. Your law firm for a lifetime. Get in an accident like I did. Man, it's so aggravating. I got to get a rental car. I got to get to the doctor. I got to see a specialist. I got to do this. Got to deal with the issue. Dana's going to handle all of that. Schedule the appointments with your doctors. Handle all the negotiations with the insurance company. Make sure that you get exactly what you're entitled to if you're in the subject of an accident around town. Same thing, doing some succession work and stuff like that. Man, I don't know where I'd be without the law offices of O.C. Brown. Utilize, again, 2 cases where Charlie and I use Dana's team of attorneys for different reasons at different stages of our lives. 343-1111 and ocbrown.com.
Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
Back here at Chris's Specialty Food, live at lunch. Jimmy, Mr. Van Pelt probably won't have a hard time putting together a segment tonight for Bad Beats. There's a few there's a few going in there, and I know he really doesn't.
What about yesterday?
Yeah, I know he really doesn't do the NFL.
So I stopped at Beau Rivage on the way back, and me and Bob were watching, and the table next to us was about 6 of them, Jacksonville, and they were having a good old time. They left very quietly.
I bet.
And then I can't believe. So I had everything. I said, Bob, this is the only game I know. Give me a pick. Houston. And I can ride him. Nice pick, Bob. Ask you for one damn thing. You give me this Houston dud. I mean, they had no business being in the game.
Well, you had.
But when Mills shook loose, I'm like, he's getting in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he was going to get in.
So you weren't with us for Football Sunday yesterday. We were at
That went like
Caesars.
95 yards or something?
I had a running total of what the yardstick was because our good friend Max here had the Texans
I had
and
Houston
was
money line. So
yeah, at money line and was
I had -1.
continuing to tell me how much Jacksonville did not deserve to be leading in this game, which was right according to the yardstick.
Okay.
In the first half,
They had a
go ahead.
special teams touchdown.
I heard this all day yesterday. Go ahead.
Just like the Jets. I mean, the Jets' scoreline is very misleading, right? They had 2 special teams touchdowns.
2 returns.
Those count.
They do, but you had a pick in the red zone. So in terms of yardage, it was Houston had like double the yardage.
Because Houston was fighting from behind the whole time, and Jacksonville is going to be a little bit more guarded when they. I mean,
But
Max.
Jimmy,
I mean, the game flow. I mean, you want to look at win probability during the course of that game. Jacksonville had to be high.
They were,
Now-
but they had 17 points on like 70 offensive yards right at the gates. So Houston was outgaining them from the get-go. And then, of course, they were behind. So, yes, they're going to get more yards late. But
I thought Houston was very lucky to win the game. Very lucky to win the game.
Well, they were down 19. I was
they're down 19.
I don't think they should have gotten down as much as they did in the first
Maybe
half.
not as much, but Jacksonville is going to turn up the aggression level if it's tight, as opposed to being up double scores, they were up 2 scores, 80% of the game?
Right, because it was 17. They scored 14 points, I believe, 17 points in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, well, anyway, that was a tough one. What about Chapel Bill sat on the lead? That was my best bet.
20-3 going to the fourth quarter, I think it was.
Yes,
Stanford.
That wasn't a bad beat compared to Auburn. We were both on Auburn. I mean,
Auburn
we were leading most of the game, catching 6.5, losing overtime by 7.
No, that was
That's
bad.
bad
You got to lose the toss. No, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible, but it's a bad beat. It's one historic bad beat. No, you get backdoored all the time. I get that, but the way they've been playing defense, I mean, the way they're controlled, they overcame some mistakes where they were going to score some more points early. It was just they have really been stopping the run. In Stanford, no, I didn't expect Stanford to score 2 touchdowns. I'll tell you what, you could have got a monster middle on that one, and so. But anyway, so what other ones, Charlie?
Well, those were the big ones.
LSU Alabama was a crazy cover. I mean, that guy's got to hit that field goal. You got to turn the ball over. Man, LSU was in position. They're going to kick a field goal to put it on a 1-score game.
Just the last sequence of the first half, you got to give touchdown. That ends up being the margin. So
I lost by the hook on that one. That was my lock of the week.
You had
on who?
LSU.
Yeah,
I never bet LSU, but
10.5, and probably Probably should you have covered?
Some are all.
Maybe. I mean, they both missed a short field goal, so that kind of cancels out. I don't know. I didn't consider it a bad beat. I mean, it was unfortunate for you the way it ended up, but
You gave them the 7 before half.
yeah,
That was bad.
But does Alabama play it differently if they
Also,
they got a 4-point lead
to
instead
me,
of
the line was a little suspiciously low.
Also,
I don't think LSU is that good.
Alabama scored Alabama's 2 field goals. They started in field goal range, right? So it's hard to blame the defense.
And
when
here's
they
the other thing:
started.
defense tried fine.
and Alabama is pretty fortunate to be where they are this year. They are a play away. A play away. I could give you one play, not a series of plays, one play in every game that would have altered the game a lot. And I think they're going to have a hands full when they go to Jordan Hare. I've seen much more lopsided matchups. Bama's good, but they're kind of like there's a ceiling on the SEC this year, and A&M might be that one team.
Wouldn't it?
Would you say? Huh?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be just like you just clued me into something? Wouldn't it be just like that rivalry for Auburn to have had heartbreak after heartbreak, fired a coach, everything? This is the most downtrodden year for Auburn fans. They just beat Alabama within an inch of their life.
Alabama could convert a 4th and 28 when they're down in their last play or something.
No. It turns around just for the last game.
They will be ready to play, and they are capable. I mean, they have some horrible beats. I mean, were they 0-5 or 0-6 in the league now?
1-6, I think.
They beat Arkansas.
Yeah, they beat Arkansas.
1-5. They could be 4-2.
Right, and so you take all of that frustration. We were talking with Roe yesterday about the one interim game. LSU had just had an awful season. Everything turned out. That one game, they just came up with that thing, and they blew Arkansas out.
So
maybe Auburn does that.
The Power 4 interim coaches were 6-0 against the spread. The two that lost the spread were LSU and Auburn.
Yeah. You would have had an opportunity. All right, we're going to take you to the break.
I know the little Alabama faithful were giddy that they covered. I can tell you that.
I'm sure.
No. They felt lucky, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
they felt fortunate. Being fair about it.
You've already talked me into it. I'm taking Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Taking Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Frank Wilson press conference. We're back on the other side. Chris's Specialty Foods, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And return here at Chris's on Highland across from Rufino's. Charles Hanniger, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. All right, so Frank Wilson answered the question about the quarterbacks, saying that both of them did good things, both of them will play, and when they go out to practice this week, Nussmeier will go with the ones. So, Jimmy, we debated this before he went out there. What he would say, what we thought. What do you think of the decision?
It's a close call, man.
Yeah, as I said, it's not
a slam dunk.
No.
And so it's not a whole lot that surprises me, but I just feel that you gotta do what you feel puts the team in the best position. And it kind of something that Rohan alluded to yesterday in Football Sunday is a combination of the two might be the best.
Yeah.
What kind of packages can you offer? That Nussmeier knows what he has to do. I mean, there's no different as far as I'm talking about the command of the playbook and what they're calling. But if you're going to play a guy with a different skill set, you want to have the different packages for him that really you haven't been seeing that much. Or do you run the same things and he's just able to, elude the pressure a little bit more? This will be the weakest team defense that LSU will play in a conference game. So, kind of like them hitters, man. Like, oh no, man, you got that middle reliever in there. Let me go get my let me get my cuts in now. So there's maybe more of an eagerness to play as well, and then there's pride on the line as well. When he made the move, I thought it was appropriate on Saturday, and I thought when Kelly made the move against Texas A&M, it was appropriate. He did himself a favor. Now, I was a little confused. He ran him out and then he pulled him. Is that how it went?
No.
Because you hear some. I mean, because I didn't.
I didn't see that.
I don't know how he did. But at the time, he was only going to get beat up more. Yeah. Texas A&M had pulled away, and that's when all your sacks come in anyway. I mean, the majority of your sacks come in garbage time when they ain't worried about you running the ball anymore when you're down multiple scores. They just getting up the field, and you're going to get hit more than you did over the course of the regular part of the game. So it's close. I could see playing both. I think, as I maintain, and we'll see. We'll see yards per play. We'll see yards per attempt, or yards per drop back, whatever it is. But I think that the backup gives you a little bit better chance at moving the ball because it's not going away as far as a lack of protection, and he's more suited to kind of getting out of those jams more.
I think playing both of them is fine. I'm going to add one thing to what you talked about with the packages and things like that. Attitude matters here. Two quarterback systems, if you have one guy that thinks he should be playing more, obviously they both think they should be playing more, and it carries over, that could be a bad thing. If they embrace it, that can be a positive thing. I didn't see anything on Friday. If Nussmeier had gone to the sideline, and maybe I'm reading too much into body language, but if he had gone to sit on the bench, put a towel over his head, and just sulked his way out of there, I might have said, you know what, he's done. I didn't see that. I saw a kid who was still into it. I saw a kid who was encouraging his teammates. I saw the kid who had tears in his eyes at the end of the game because he cares whether they win or not. If his attitude had been any different, I might feel differently. But given that, I think he still wants to win. He still wants to play. I would give him that opportunity. At the same time, I'm not gonna give him an endless leash like I would have at the beginning of the season. He could have thrown 3 interceptions in the first 3 drives at Clemson, and he was going out for number 4. That's not the case anymore. If he goes out and he throws an interception or turns the ball over or does something careless, no, you're coming out now. So
the offense has been terrible. The offense has been really, really bad this year.
No question.
And so got to do something different.
Yeah.
You have to do something different. I know one little bright spot is Harlan Berry. He's he had one of their explosive plays. Frank said Alabama had 5, LSU had 2. Trey's drop was going to be 3.
I got to give Frank credit, man. That is the nicest way I've ever heard anybody say that a guy dropped the football. I wrote it down. He said he was targeted but didn't get the reception. That's so polite. That's really nice.
Trey is still developing, as most of these guys are, but him more so than near the top as far as his late start, his commitment to basketball for such a large part of his youth career, and he knows he had all kinds of room. He was headed up the field before he secured the ball.
That's why he dropped it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's happened to a million receivers. You look up the field before you drop, or you get the ball.
So, but it was going to be a big one.
Yeah, it was.
And for being as raw as he is, his hands are really. And I saw that in high school. I mean, he made some catches like, I don't care. We know about his catch radius. I mean, he's so long.
He's got big hands. He's got soft hands.
He's got really good hands. Really good hands. Just like we talk, but so many receivers, the hands are so. They don't measure the hands. It's like a quarterback. It's like accuracy is like down the line when they evaluate quarterbacks. With a tight end. That's why I was like, Bowers. I'm like, doggone it, man. We know he's big. We know he's strong. We know he's he plays a lot of toughness and heart. But man, his hands, some of the catches he makes. So Trey has got the hands. Now, Trey, still work in progress on his toughness, on his trying to become a tight end if that's what he wants to do. He's more of a detached guy right now. He's certainly big enough. You're strong enough.
There's
to
a willingness,
bring that
too. We've seen a willingness on film for him to go in there and hit somebody.
Okay, you guys are watching.
Yeah,
because
there's
it was.
A willingness.
Ain't no willingness in high school, bro.
No. There's a willingness now. The technique leaves a lot to be desired at this point, but there's a willingness.
And technique's going to be more challenging for him because he's so damn tall.
Yes, it is very difficult for him to get leverage in places, for sure.
Yeah.
Some of the other things that he talked about the end of the half. He defended their play calling at the end. He said, we didn't come here for a moral victory. victory. We liked our calls. We felt comfortable with it. They gave us the exact look that we wanted, and we just didn't execute it. I'm fine with that on first and second down. The drive started with 220, okay? So that 220, yeah, I want you to be aggressive. 107, third and 11, you gotta dial it back, okay? I understand you're not going down there to be for a moral victory, but there's a time to show a little bit. You got to pull it back.
You're down. You're not. You don't have the lead.
No, you're only down 7.
Down, I understand. Yeah. You're down 7, but you don't want to waste the possession. But your quarterback, who's been around for 5 years, has to know, and that has to be coached, and he has to have better situational. It's on both.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
He's got to know that. How many times you're in that situation when the opponent has no timeouts left? So that's a rarity.
Yeah, that's and that's a big part of it. Look, first and 10 with 2:20 to go from your own 20, by all means, go ahead. Third and 11 from the 19 with 1:07 to go. I'm sorry, we disagree
what's
there.
The golden
I
rule?
disagree with Frank.
What's the golden rule?
The
field position dictates aggression. Where are you?
The 19-yard line.
No.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
That's right. And
no.
less and a minute less than you had on first down. No. First and second down, I'm fine. Third down,
look,
no.
we watched a lot more games and more. They watch film. We watch more games. We see more things unveiled. We're more trained than they are to make these calls. But it's a simple policy. Into half. Field position. That's why you start with something safe, and then we got past the 35. Then your aggression goes up.
Yes,
it goes up.
Right.
Yeah,
especially if you pop.
But
run.
Rarely, Charlie, and this is one thing. Rarely in that spot. Pay attention when you see you got the position, you got the ball under 2 minutes to go, and your opponent's out of timeouts.
No, you're right. That doesn't happen very often. Ordinarily, they do have that. He talked about the plays getting in and troubleshooting that. The communications, I can't hear you. He talked about going to wristbanding to make that a more fluid operation. I think that's a wonderful idea. I am appalled that it took them to week 10 to get to that. Not anticipating that noise might be a problem in Tuscaloosa. That's disappointing. That stuff should have been put in before they went to Clemson. Did they not anticipate noise at Clemson? Okay, you got to make this easy. Hey, we might not be able to hear. So I applaud the adjustment. You're in the 10th playing date Saturday. That should have come a long time ago, my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Good news on Nick Anderson. It's day-to-day and not a season ender. Whit Weeks is still going to be a day-to-day thing. It's pain tolerance. It's a deep bone bruise in a really bad spot, so we'll see on that. And he talked about Ori Williams for Weston Davis. One of the things we're going to do film study tomorrow night and drop a new handicast. I'm anxious to see how he did in the second half with a little bit closer look in the all-22 and the end zone views because Weston Davis has struggled. And Williams was another highly recruited kid, another massive size guy. I want to go see. I didn't notice him get beat the other night in any one particular play, but you can only watch so much on a TV cut, so I want to go see that.
Right.
So some of the other things to look at.
See, you sound like a coach, Charlie.
Oh man,
gotta look at the film.
We listen.
Gotta look at the film.
When we're in,
and you do.
We're in the week 10. I've heard from enough coaches.
Yeah,
to
get the
start to sound
plays
like
in,
that.
man. Make it decisive. Come on, But
wristband 1. Okay, run that. Come on. I agree wholeheartedly with that. We're here at Chris's Specialty Foods. Thanksgiving is just a couple of weeks away, 2 weeks from Thursday. Order from here at Chris's Specialty Meats.
Oh man, look. So you do the bundles where you can take one of the traditional turkeys, the whole turkeys, and injected, deboned, fried, smoked. You got the turduckens that you stuff with. Of course, that's a turkey, duck, and chicken. That's with the rice dressing, cornbread stuffed boudin, crawfish, or shrimp. Stuffed turduckens, stuffed turkeys, and turkey rolls. The turkey rolls are just like the turkey breasts. They're kind of rolled up with the different stuffings in them. And the stuffed turkeys are the whole turkeys. So we ship anywhere in the country. So And then you can create your own bundle with 2 sides, with all of our sides: mac and cheese, rice dressing, twice baked potato, cabbage, yams, green beans, cornbread. We got the turkey gravy, pecan pies, and dinner rolls as well. And then also the, just by itself. So you can do the turkey rolls, the turduckens, the whole turkeys, the boneless turkeys, a la carte if you want as well. But holiday turkeys, we got them for you over here at Chris's Specialty Foods and at all of our 4 locations. So over here on Highland Road, across the street from Rufino's, Millerville Road, just off of I-12, and Wax Road in Central, and then West End Boulevard in Lakeview down in the New Orleans area.
Live at Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
If you're coming by Chris's Specialty Foods here on Highland, we had the chili for lunch today. Man, comes highly recommended, especially with the cold weather today. Coming by Chris's Specialty Foods, always with the different lunch special. Today we had the chili. That was pretty doggone good. Good news for the Bengals. Joe Burrow going back to practice. He's got a 21-day window to which he can begin limited practice before he's counted against the roster. He's obviously not going to play this week, but he is back at practice, so we'll see. That AFC North is not out of reach, amazingly. Steelers lost last night. They're 5-4. The Ravens won yesterday. They're 4-5, and the Bengals are 3-6. Anybody's ball game. I would take the Ravens at this point.
LSU ain't getting a whole new other offensive line, and the Bengals ain't getting a whole other defense, Charlie.
No, I was just talking about Burrow going back to practice is all.
I know, but Flacco can't play much better. I mean, Burrow can't play that much better than Flacco.
No, they scored 42 points last week and lost. In the week before that, they lost.
You know what I mean?
What did they lose the week before? 39-38 to the Jets.
The Jets.
Yeah.
Justin Fields looked like he was going to Hall of Fame.
Joe Burrow's going to come back, play quarterback, all 5 offensive line, and all 11 spots on defense.
Yes.
Brian Dable out with the Giants.
A little surprised right now.
They lost yesterday.
I know the 10-point leads and stuff, but doggone it. I mean, look at the injuries he's had.
They lost Malik Neighbors. They
Scatterboo.
Lost Scatterboo.
So they're going to look for a new GM, too. But, I mean, the GM did a good job this year.
They've actually had some very nice
Dart
choices.
I might be wrong. Look, it was kind of flip of the coin. It was a close call because I've seen some moments going. The offense just opens up when he's in there compared to Russell Wilson or whoever else. It made a big difference.
I'll tell you
what. Lost his first start. He lost Neighbors. Few starts after he loses Scatterboo.
One thing about him, we've made this point a bunch. Yesterday was the 4th time. How many starts now, Jimmy? 8 or 9 for him?
For Dart?
Yeah.
Not that many.
He didn't
about
start
5
the
or 6.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so in 5 or 6 starts, he's been in not the full concussion protocol, but concussion evaluation 4 times now. Bub, you got to protect yourself.
Look, he's in the game. If he finishes the game, they win. No question.
Yeah,
no question.
I mean that's a lot. He's got to learn that. Got to learn that.
I forgot to tell you, Lincoln Riley did that pass. He put the backup quarterback, the punter's number 80.
Yeah.
The punter is number 80. They were down 14-7, and I'm sorry, it was 7-7, and he put the backup quarterback. It's Brock Heward's nephew, Damon Heward's son, and put him in number 80. And the USC he throws a pass.
Yep.
Like 4th and 4, 4th and 6. He completed a 10-yard pass. The radio play-by-play for USC. I didn't know the punter had that kind of. Boy, he looked good on that throw.
Yeah, the league sent him a little reminder today that kind of stuff is largely frowned upon. I had a feeling we may revisit that in No Class tomorrow. It was Bush League when Les Miles did it, and it's Bush League now.
Well, it's supposed to be a penalty because it is deception.
Well, you know what they did though? They put him on the roster, so it was legal. Okay.
Well, I mean, everybody's on the roster.
No,
but the
with
80.
the number. Yeah, they handed him the roster before thing, and Northwestern didn't check it.
Shouldn't he be doing? I mean, you know,
I'm sorry. I think it's Bush League. I get that it was legal because they did it, and I don't know why I feel that way, Jimmy.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yesterday was the 7th start for Dart.
Okay, should I be rewarding the creativity and the attention to detail for USC doing something like that? Because they handed Northwestern the thing and said they're not going to look at the flip charts, and they were right. They didn't. Northwestern coaching staff said, look, they got us. So it was legal. It's Bush League. I'm sorry.
No, that's bull. I mean, that's it. What's that? Well, I mean, even if you're booster, I mean, that's what I invested my money in. I mean, they paid a lot of money for Lincoln Riley to go to USC.
They did.
I mean, that's how you competing, man.
I guess they won the game and they covered.
I know.
Eagles and Packers tonight. Who you got?
Eagles.
1.5 point underdogs tonight. Should be a good game at
Jalen Hurts anytime, TD.
32 degrees at kickoff tonight.
That's fun.
It's Rain Band November. You figure
31 here.
It's going to be yeah. You bring your plants in.
I'm just gonna put some sheets. I'm tired, Charlie.
We brought the plants in yesterday.
Really? But it didn't freeze last night.
Well, because I didn't want to do it today. Just in case. We put the sheet over, and we got a little makeshift greenhouse in the backyard. You know. Okay.
Come do mine when
Thanks.
you're done.
No, I'm busy. Thanks to the folks for Chris's Specialty Foods for being our host today. Tomorrow we'll
Randy
be
and Tressie in here helping out, man, doing a great job.
Getting ready for
Holiday,
Thanksgiving,
man.
yeah.
Turkeys, man, stuff is awesome.
Come get some
Great
chili.
stuff.
Tomorrow we're at Doe's Eat Place. For Jordan back in the studio, for Max, for Jimmy, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.